Introducing Samsung's new Galaxy M33 5G. This phone was meant to be an exclusive to India only, but for some reason it is available here in Malaysia exclusively through Lazada. We did another video where we go for shopping online and then bought this phone from Lazada, so check it out at the top right corner there too. Honestly speaking, the entire shopping experience was very quick and painless, yet safe at the same time. But this video is only about the phone itself. Why does the Galaxy M33 5G exist? And how does it differ with the Galaxy A33 5G? Well, in today's video, we'll talk all about it, so let's begin. Let's go through our usual 6 points when it comes to our smartphones, while also mentioning some parts of the Galaxy A33 too, because there are quite a few similarities and differences between these two phones. We'll start off with the design. So the overall shape and size of the Galaxy M33 5G is slightly different from the Galaxy A33, so we cannot reuse accessories from the other phone to this phone. And even the colors available are different too. So you see, we got the green color of the Galaxy M33 5G, and it looks really nice, and it also has a very matte sheen behind. It makes this phone look really nice and feel very nice to the touch too. But the camera bump is in this domino shape, which is the first biggest difference that I have personally found. You see, the Galaxy M33 5G also has 4 different cameras, but for me personally, I only consider 2 of them to be usable to take pictures, because I don't consider the depth and macro cameras to be usable. Furthermore, the Galaxy M33 5G's main camera is using a 50 megapixel sensor, but it's a different lens completely because it doesn't have OIS. I mean, for phones at this price point, it's pretty common for not having OIS. Even more expensive smartphones like the Xiaomi 11T Pro doesn't have OIS too. But the Galaxy M33 can still take fantastic pictures, and I mean, the main camera has that signature Samsung color saturation and vividness, so no complaints overall. It is just sad that the camera doesn't have OIS. And as for the ultra-wide angle camera, there is also a difference because it is now using a 5 megapixel sensor on the Galaxy M33, whereby the Galaxy A33 has an 8 megapixel sensor. Now, this M33 can still take good pictures with the ultra-wide angle camera. It is just slightly darker in tone compared to the main camera, and also the sharpness and resolution is just not there. As for the screen, this is also one of the biggest differences that I found, because the Galaxy M33 comes with a bigger 6.6-inch screen with a resolution of 2408 by 1080, but it is an IPS LCD screen, yet it can go up to 120Hz refresh rate, as opposed to 90Hz Super AMOLED screen on the Galaxy A33. I personally don't care much about refresh rate, but I care more about color accuracy. So I took out our colorimeter and tested out the color of the Galaxy M33 screen, and at 100 nits of brightness, it can reach nearly 100% sRGB and 93.37% of DCI-P3 color gamuts, while retaining a very low delta E number, which to me is very impressive because the screen quality of the Galaxy M33 is really good even though it is an IPS LCD screen. What matters here though is that the Galaxy M33's maximum brightness is actually considered quite high, because for an LED backlit screen, it can go nearly 450 nits of brightness. That means it is good enough to be used outdoors under some shade. Also, the Galaxy M33 doesn't use an under-display fingerprint scanner, and the fingerprint scanner is integrated to the power button at the side, and that is something that I personally prefer because it is faster and more reliable than under-display fingerprint scanners. And by the way, since this phone is using an IPS LCD screen, it doesn't have AOD. As for the performance, the core specs of the Galaxy M33 is exactly the same as the Galaxy A33. So for our unit here, it uses the Exynos 1280 chipset with 8GB of RAM and also 128GB of internal storage. And I would assume that these two phones will perform the same, but the Galaxy M33 still haven't got the update for the alternate gain performance management mode, so we cannot actually test it out apples to apples with the Galaxy A33. Like what we've mentioned in our review of the Galaxy A33 and also the Galaxy A53, the Exynos 1280 is still a work in progress. Either way, the Exynos 1280 is going to perform well enough for day-to-day tasks, so I have no complaints overall. Combining the Exynos 1280 with a 5000 mAh battery, this phone's battery life is actually really good because we can reach about 12 hours and 48 minutes throughout our battery life test with PC Mark at 100 nits of brightness. And yeah, I would say it's pretty much in line with the Galaxy A33's battery life. For the charger though, as you can see here, the Galaxy M33's box is really thin, and we also showed it in the unboxing video. This phone doesn't come with a charger, so we use our Ugreen 100 watts gun charger to charge this phone, and we got from 15 to 100% in about 85 minutes, which is pretty standard for a 25 watts charger on a 5000 mAh battery. And in terms of software, it is also using Samsung's One UI 4.1 on top of Android 12. However, I realized there are a few differences here. Firstly, the Galaxy M33 doesn't have Bixby routines, which is a feature that I've become accustomed with over the past year. And the Galaxy M33 also has a different update policy for its software. I've asked Samsung about this information, and what I got was that the M33 gets 2 generations of Android OS upgrades and 4 years of security patches. I'd say that is one of, if not the biggest difference between this M33 and the A33, because the A33 gets 4 generations of Android OS upgrades with 5 years of security updates. There are actually a lot more differences between the M33 and the A33, so I created this handy chart for you so that you can quickly glance through all of the differences that we found. I only want to highlight a few differences here, particularly the IP rating, audio jack, and also the software update policy that we mentioned earlier. I believe that these 3 differences will ultimately depend on how you value your phone the most in terms of what feature it has. And then we need to highlight the final difference listed in the table, which is the price. Assuming that there is no discount, then I will obviously take the Galaxy A33 because it's exactly the same price. However, since promotions are so common in Lazada, then it becomes a much more difficult question to answer. If you don't care about all of the fancy features that the Galaxy A33 has, then the M33 will save you a bit of money while providing same level of performance. So yeah, that's it. That's all we have to share with you regarding the Galaxy M33. I personally think that this phone needs to be at a lower price, even though when it's at a discount. Otherwise, the Galaxy A33 will always become the clear winner. So that's it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.